been before, through those open doors, where I am now, where I am now. I'm in a special place, until the Father breaks, where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton, Where I Am Now. And if you'd like to see us in WMVA 88.9 FM studio, WGPL 1350 studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton's Facebook page, and you can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the globe, all you have to do is go to 1350am.com, 1400am.com, go to church webcast, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Thank God it's Friday, and will you be my neighbor?
Yes, let's welcome our neighbors. Let's welcome WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace, 95.3 FM, WMVA 88.9, WPCE 1400 AM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's right. We're here on TikTok this morning. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we promise we'll shout you out.
Promise?
We promise. Go to YouTube at Cristo Records 1, CRISTO Records 1, or at FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton. You all can like, share, comment, and subscribe over there. And we promise we'll shout you out.
Shout out.
Yes, it is Fun Friday. It's the weekend.
That's right. It's the weekend, and the weatherman talking about advisory, flood advisories all over the city, rain on tomorrow. But there's a lot of things popping out there on tomorrow. If you got anything that you have to do, they said do it in the AM, do it early.
I tell you what's a buzz all over the place is that debate on last night. Oh my goodness. In Virginia, we have the gubernatorial race. And I tell you what, the debate last night, they said was something to behold. If you missed it, they're going to air it on TV. You could probably get it on YouTube as well, but I'm definitely going to check it out. I've heard a lot of things, a lot of good things, a lot of not so good things, and I'm telling you, talking about a buzz today, Mr. E, it's buzzing.
That's right. That's right. So political voting is right around the corner, and if you want to vote, go ahead and make sure you understand who's running so that you can pull the right level or mark in a shade in the right vote. So, hey, look, pay close attention because it's right around here. November the 4th, make sure you got everything that you need, and you can start early voting right now. And then for all early voting for everybody, not by mail, but if you want to go to your libraries and things of that nature, it starts October the 20th, and you can go down to do your voting then.
Absolutely. So look, you all early vote. Check out the candidates. You may not know a whole lot about them. You may know a lot about them, but you need to make sure this is the leader. These are the leaders that you all want to choose. It's going to be more than the gubernatorial race. It's going to be other races. And I tell you what, it's going to be something else. But you can get out there, early vote, and get it over with. We want to say good morning to all you all that are on TikTok. We got folk chiming in already. I think Kay Riddick over here on TikTok. Good morning. And anybody else, make sure you all just say hi, do something so we can acknowledge that you are there. So this is FYI's Fun Friday segment. What's in your closet? Issues concerning us women. I tell you what, the FYI segment today is Mama says it's time for you to leave the nest. How can you tell your adult child should go?
That's right. Today is talking about leaving the nest. When can you tell them adult children? Well, here's one reason that you can do to get your adult child uh, to move out. Have a calm, direct conversation to set a deadline for him to leave.
First of all, Mr. E, let's not jump into that yet, bro. Let's jump into, hey, do you think, I'm going to ask a personal question and we're going to open the phone lines as well. What do you think is appropriate age for a child or an adult child to leave the nest, first of all?
First, you have to classify what you call an adult child.
Uh, the adult child is 18
Okay,
and up.
that's what you had to classify. What
Mr.
is it?
E,
First of all,
18 and up is an adult child. 21 is a real grown up. And you all make sure you join in on the chat.
well, do you think that adult child could be them that already had a child? That's the only one. That's the adult child could be that what when they have children. Do you think they're adult children?
I didn't get that question.
Do you think that when a person or child has a kid and they're living in your house, do you think that they grown then?
I tell you what we need to do is we're going to open the phone lines, not right now, but in a little while. We're going to find out what age is a good, appropriate age. I tell you what, a lot of parents plan and they drop hints along the way, and they say that by the time you're 18 years old, you should be getting it together to possibly launch. Now, that's one type of child. They're getting ready for college, or some of them get married early, or some of them, decide to relocate and go to another job. Parents usually, are in the mix with that. But then there's another type of adult, which is one that refuses to be productive or get up or do anything. And parents have to kind of like push and get them prepared in a different way. We have a few ways that we're going to talk about today. But there are some things that parents you can do. Now, this is something that I've seen before, Miss E. This is not anything new to me. I've noticed that there are some parents that struggle, mothers that struggle to help to launch a child. First of all, they get very codependent. They feel like, hey, I don't have to do much of anything. Mom has been doing enough for me. I'm going to let this thing keep going on. I may not be productive, but give me 5, 10 years. After a while, I'll be ready to go. Some of the things that you all can do to get your adult child to move out is to have a calm, direct conversation, to set a deadline for them to leave, then follow up with a formal notice. Isn't that amazing? A formal notice that you have to tell your child it's time to go. I want to know what you think, Mr. E. Have you been in that predicament, or have all your children just launched automatically?
Well, here's if what you just said, have a formal notice of eviction notice. When you look at what those folks, what the system is saying, when you get ready to evict a person out of your home, you got to give them a 30-day notice for them to leave. Now, that depends on what category you put that child in. Now, when it comes to a child or children being being an adult, then what happens is sometimes you just got to show them the door.
Well, the thing about it is, okay, tough love. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well. But what is the procedure? I'm going to take my situation, for instance, and then we'll go to our some of our research that we have here. But my children First of all, I have two children, male and female, and they kind of launched pretty good. And I say kind of because it was a process with my daughter. She got a chance to live on campus. She finished high school. She lived on campus for a while. After finishing college, she came back. She finished college and she got the opportunity to save to launch. I was great with that. That her the way she did things, her phases, because she was productive throughout the whole time. Not only did she graduate from college, but she went and got her master's degree right after that, back to back. So she had time to live on campus, come back, get another degree, and then she saved enough money to launch. My son was a little bit different. He went into the reserve, so he left at an age, and I was really talking about feeling the emptiness because he had never been away from home. So he went early. He went right out of high school into the reserves, came back, went to college. He became a longshoreman, and then he launched. So everybody's not the same. There are some that I know some parents, and this is for real. 18, you got to go. I don't care if you're doing something, if you're not doing anything. They don't care what you doing at the time. You have to go by 18. I know a lady who she put her children in the military. Like you were saying, what happened to you, Miss E? A lot of parents will take you down and take you to where you sign up and say, "This is it. Goodbye."
Well, and that's what happens. Sometimes it depends on the attitude towards and how things are going on in the house. My dad, once we got a certain age, he said, "It's no more grown folk gonna live in his house. You grown and you got to go. You didn't get a high school. You didn't get a scholarship for college. You don't have a full time job, and you can't pay ends meet. And it's time for you to get out of here. Even if you didn't join the military, but you had to get out of his house and find you somewhere to
So
go."
you had brothers and sisters.
Right.
Did everybody have that same
No, the girls
grace?
didn't have that,
Okay,
but the
how
boys
come?
did, because he knew that the lions and the tigers and the bears going to be out there for the girls. But he knew that men could stand on their own,
Really? How
you
come
know.
girls can't stand on their own? It
Well,
was a
they
whole different.
can.
It must have been a whole different time, something like
That's
that.
right.
But took you down, signed you up. How did you feel about it?
Well, I did not like it because I'm saying I didn't know the logic to it. First of all, you got to know the logic. When he took me down to the recruiter, and the last word he said, you no longer live at his house.
That's cold.
You no
Uh,
longer live at his house. You live at this house.
Now, were
This is
you
your house.
prepared for it? Now, it seems
No,
like now this
no.
is the thing for me personally. At 18, it was time for me to roll. I look forward to that time. I moved to Washington, D.C. right out of high school. In my mind, it just made all the sense to get out of the nest. It was nothing else to do. You finish high school and everything. I did come back after coming back from Washington and I went to college. But at 18 years old, I felt like it was time to launch. Every one of my siblings launched. It was seven. I think everybody launched at 18 years old. I can't think of one of them that stayed any longer than that. And so, yeah, some parents, have to use tough love. Some parents, just make it understood and drop nuggets throughout, the years. I know a guy whose parents said, isn't it time for you to start thinking about your future and getting yourself prepared to get out into creation? Now, what do you think about an adult child who is productive but doesn't have the resources to launch, to go out, to get out of the nest. They need a little bit more time. What do you think about that?
I think that when you got grown folk doing what they want to do in your house, regardless of whether or not they are productive or not, have a job or not, tough love has to play a big important role. Whether they got the money or not to move out, they will not go anywhere if you don't push them out of the bird. Baby bird, a bird has only keeps a child in the nest for only 7 days. And every day they edge them to the end of the nest. They take them out of the nest, let them see the surroundings, and then they put them back in. They nurture them and teach them more. Then they turn around and take them a little further down the street. Then they bring them back in and teach them some more. Then they take them down another farther. The seventh day, come around, the mama put them to the edge of the limb and said, bye bye. You either have to fly or die because it's time for you to go. But you got some folks don't want their children out there in this mean world. But if you put enough in them and taught them well, guess what? They'll be able to survive.
I can see grace for a plan. Ooh, 18, I got a plan, mom. I got a plan, dad. I need to, you know, give me a little time. I'm working, I'm saving, I'm going to school. I'm looking around to other possibilities online. I need that time. I do believe in grace for a plan. I wanted to rewind to something you said about your sisters. This is our women's segment, and you know, women. I think women will launch just as good as a man. Some women, young ladies, prepare themselves. I have a group of young ladies I mentor, been mentoring for years, and all the time, throughout their life, they talk about getting out of the nest. They prepare. They talk about going to college or whatever. They don't hesitate. Like, oh, I need to be home. I need my mom. I'm too scared to get out this. They are some of the main ones that want to get out from under mom and them.
Well, you got so many women, so many. It can be the same. Mamas and daughters don't have that can have that relationship, but they bumping heads. They bumping heads.
Sometimes.
And then you got daddies and sons. They had that relationship and they bump heads. But then when it's time, when grown folk, I believe this that when you grown, you already done took your course. You done from grade one on up till time for you to leave. You're already supposed to be preparing yourself to hit the ground running because I'm teaching you everything that I can teach you. And what happens if you stay around the house long enough, it's going to be hard for me to get you out.
I want you all to put in the chat whether you feel that tough love is something that you should use on your children. How old should they be when they should leave the nest? Are you preparing them to leave the nest? Do you have to force them out, kick them out, or what? But like I said, throughout a child's life, I think preparation is key. Helping them to plan. Even in school, they have guidance counselors and things like that to help kids choose colleges and get them prepared to leave the nest, to move out on their own and things like that. Job opportunities and stuff. You have to prepare a child for that. But also, and we're going to talk about that at the end of a child that is out there and they they go through hard times and they have to come back. That's a whole different type of situation.
But first of all, don't you think you got to get the child out the house?
I'm talking about those that get out. I said at the bottom we will speak on when they do come back. Sometimes they do come back, but there are reasons. But let's talk about the ones that have grown up to 18 years old and maybe they are running a little bit behind. These are some of the things that you can do. You can definitely have that conversation. You can definitely set that deadline for them to leave. And then sometimes you may have to force them because they just don't have the motivation to get from under mom and dad.
Well, the telephone number to dial is 757-624-9475. If you want to call in and chime in and talk about what the subject matter is about a daughter, young women, the children leaving the nest, give us a call, 757-624-9475. And I truly believe that once a child get of age, and long as he ain't got no handicaps and things of that nature, it's time for him to fly the coop.
All right, it says communicate directly. You can set a deadline, have a clear, calm conversation, like I said, with your child, to state that he needs to move out by a specific date. Of course, you want to offer support. Anything they may need, let them know that you're there to offer practical advice and emotional support, like helping him or her find a place or prepare for a move. We have a caller on the line.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
First of all, a child is 18 does not mean that they are grown. What
Mm-hmm.
type of credit, what type of rent history does they have? That's why our prisons are so full now with the males and the females institutions because the parents throw them out.
Yeah, do you think that parents should prepare their children all the time? Like I said, when it comes to college, when it comes to, job opportunity, and, do you think that it's something that a child should experience throughout, as they get older, and then they will be ready for such a time?
It depends on that child's mind.
Uh huh.
If, if, if their minds are not mature enough to step out in the real world, why should you throw them out?
Well, I got a
That's
question
like
for you.
that's just like throwing them out to the world. And then time something happens to them, or that they end up in a wrong organization seeking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Then sometimes we as the parents, we are so quick to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have had to throw them out." 18 years old, what type of credit does they have? What type of money does they have saved when they are just stepping
Mm-hmm.
out?
Where should they be at this point, though? At 18, give me an example of how you feel. Where should they be as far as their mentality? When do you think is a good time for a child to leave the nest?
When they are financially and mature enough to step out in the real world. As a mother and a father, everyone knows they're the kids. But why just throw them out?
Well, see, the word that you're looking at is throwing them out, but how about
That's
preparing
what you
them?
said.
How about preparing them to leave?
She
I,
said that's what you said. You
I
said
think
throw them out.
I really think that I really think the word that you're saying is throw you out, but to prepare them to leave. When your child is of age and went from ninth grade to 10th to the 12th grade, ready to be grown, aren't you preparing your child to get ready to leave the home, or to get jobs and learn how? Or do you think that they need to lay around the house and do nothing?
Lay around the house and not do anything. That is not the issue. My problem is that everybody looks at the age of 18. 18, you doesn't have any history of running or experience with bank account or anything.
But they can get credit cards at 16.
Trust. But nine times out of 10, they have a job or their parents are paying for it.
No, not necessarily. Some of them that are 16, 17, and 18 has applied for credit cards, and they're using the credit cards in your house, and parents are just giving them monies just to, and if they pay the bill. I have a son. I have six children. And speaking from a father's standpoint, I had to really do to be tough love on my men child, on the men and the young ladies to let them know that you can't have two bosses running around this house. And not only that, I had to prepare them to get ready to, take their hiatus to get out of the house. I trained them, taught them everything they need to know, how to put money in the bank and to establish themselves in credit. Now, when they get out there on their own, then they'll be able to stand. During that time, I was teaching them how to for them to be prepared to get out of the house, get out
Did
of.
you
It's a
throw any of
teaching.
them out?
It's a teaching. It's a teaching element.
Did you throw any of them out?
Well, I didn't physically. I didn't. I didn't physically. I didn't physically throw them out of the house. I gave them the notice. It's time to go now.
Well, so I tell you what, thank you so much for calling. 18, it is something to think about. Some are ready, some are not. Some need a plan, some need grace. And, it's just so many different things. It's not one size fits all, but there are a lot of parents that are saying, look,
You gotta
it's
go.
time to go. 18 is the dead. I mean, I know a lady who was so every single one of her children had to go. She was like, I don't care if you go to the military, I don't care what you do, you gotta get out of here. Now that's tough.
757-624-9475. That's the telephone number to dial. What age do you think that grown folk in your home need to take a hiatus, that need to leave?
Well, let's talk
And how
about
do you take them? How do you get them out of your house?
Miss D, talk about the ones that you really have to have tough love. Now these are our children and stuff, and there's grace and things like that, and a lot of things that go along with getting them to launch out or preparing them. But there is another group who has to be forced out because of disrespect. They're getting real grown. They don't want to do anything. They are getting in trouble. They're burdened, and you can't get them to budge. These are the ones that we talk about in our research about communicating with them first, and maybe issuing a formal notice. Hey, you got 1 year, save some money, get a plan, you got to go. They may be 25, 30. And it's like, wait a minute now, it's time, because you're not doing anything. You're sitting around and you're not being productive. It says you may have to give them a formal notice, a notice to vacate. If the direct conversation doesn't work, you may want to formalize the process, they said. You may want to send them a letter. Like I said, include a date. Then there's one that's even tougher than that, Mr. E, and it says it involves authorities if necessary.
Well, that's right. It
Woo.
involves you really telling them after you done prepare them. Here's the kicker part that some parents are not paying close attention to. The lady that called, for example, when you start training your child, the Bible declares to train up a child in the way he should go. Then he won't depart from. If you teaching your child at an early age, if you're not too busy going to work and coming home, but if you teaching your child at an early age, when he gets into high school, and you trying to teach him that he's got to get out there in the working world. Just take yourself, for example. When did you get out there and had to grind, had to get out there and work, and do physical labor just to provide for your home, to keep a roof over your head? So now when you got that child going through ninth grade in school, they're training them for the next level as to go to college, to prepare them to go to college. So you're training them at the ninth grade now, to prepare for this mean old world. It's a mean world out here. But guess what? You had to face it, and they cannot stay around my house thinking that they're going to keep on eating my food, lay around my couch, and don't want to bust a grape. I'm sorry.
Well, I tell you what, all our children, they need support, but there are some that need that tough love. And then there's those that we should make sure they have a plan, make sure they're able to live out, like y'all say, in this mean world, which it's mean, but it ain't that mean if you know how. carry yourself. But anyway, there's so much that we can say on this topic. We'll bring it back, or either we'll do it on our After Dark Hot Topics, and that's at 6 p.m. on all social media platforms. So, look, we're going to finish talking about this at another time. Thank you all so much for joining us. TikTok, thank you so much for being on for the first time with us. But I tell you what, we're going to see you all on Monday. We want you to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more of FYI in the morning from 9:30 to 10. And for more information, give us a call at 757-714-7861. Don't forget to have a wonderful weekend. Bye now.
All right, all right. We had a great segment. What's in your closet? Mama says it's time to leave the nest. We're going to finish this dialogue probably on our FYI After Dark. We come on 6 p.m. on Mondays on all social media platforms. TikTok, we can't wait to join you all there on our After Dark show and have a nice conversation. Find out who you are, what you do, and how you feel about certain subjects. We're going to be covering hot topics. We're going to be covering around the town with Edward Everett. We have a segment, cryptocurrency, money and more. I know you all want to learn about more money, more things. We have men's issues on Wednesday. We have women's issues on Fun Friday. We have serving tea on everything that's going on. We're going to serve up stuff that's going on in entertainment and sports. As a matter of fact, sports, we have our Monday Sports Talk, and you all should join us. But we're excited for you all to be a part of our social media platform now, and also a new friend of FYI Radio Morning Show. Miss Lee's going to tell you how you can join us and how you can be a special guest sponsor intern. But don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Say that again one time. Repeat that again. New friends of FYI, you said?
TikTok.
Okay. Once say if you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor, give us a call at 757-714-7861 or join us or email us. Our inbox is at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com.
Wow, there's so many that have joined us. But anyway, look, meet us back here on Monday, and we're going to get a little bit more about who you all are and what you do. So look, we're getting ready to go out and enjoy the weekend. We're going to see you back here on Monday for Monday Sports Talk. Bye now.